What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up a very impressive 6.26%, 696 the low, 722 the high, and 42 million shares being traded. 88 is the average. Nothing really coming out associated to NIO today. No speculative topics, no press releases, nor any SEC filings. Rather, a couple of things that's really moving NIO is this right here. So the fear that really escalated Friday rolled over into Saturday. That was somewhat quashed on Sunday. So Trump's pretty much saying don't worry about China, and that it was just kind of more of a misunderstanding and just a bad moment. So kind of sucks to those individuals that did panic sell on Friday. But at the same time, and over and above this, we did also have very poor data that came out Sunday evening. So this does justify stimulus. So that meeting is coming up at the end of, I believe it is this upcoming or next weekend. So that could be a very positive catalyst for Chinese stocks. So now, basically, we're kind of looking at somewhat negative data. That's what we want to even further validate more and more stimulus. And then over and above that, though, we did also have this that came out over the weekend. So more negotiating between Canada and China. So this kind of came out of left field. So China is willing to remove canola tariffs if Canada does scrap the EV levies. This was more of a hypothetical that came out almost a solid month ago. Canada came out saying that they're considering to remove the levies. And I think that was more of a FU towards the States, because the States and Canada haven't really seen eye to eye on auto ever since Trump came in. So in my opinion, I think Canada was humoring the idea to remove the levies, and that way allowing Chinese vehicles in. So you had this, and then you also did have the Premier, Manitoba Premier, so pretty much where I live, writing to the PM of Canada, pretty much saying, hey, you need to really remove these tariffs. And so I don't think this one is more against the states at all, the kind of the purpose behind this one, rather just to increase competition. Where I do live, there's not really much EVs. Like, to be honest, I think I live close to 2 Tesla Cybertrucks, and that's pretty much the only thing in our province for the most part. We have like 1 Rivian, so EV presence is minimal. And so I think generally this is one thing that they're trying to do. And in case you don't know kind of the configuration of Canada, Manitoba has so much energy. We actually sell quite a lot of it to the States, and that's where kind of we had when Canada and the States were going back and forth, Canada just said, hey, we'll turn off your power, like pretty much that. So our grid is very on point, so we can kind of sustain a lot of EVs. This makes sense. So in general, I think this is going to be a very good opportunity for a lot of Chinese EVs, including NIO, and so a new target audience. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from all of that, shorts aren't really doing anything. So I don't know if they're just kind of struck and they don't really know generally what to do, but 12.35% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 170.89 million shares overall are being shorted. Looking at the options, 7.1 million in calls, 2.9 in puts, 45% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So definitely good to see for that. Coming from a bull standpoint, you see a good amount of optimism for this momentum to continue to roughly around the 8 to 850. Then the bears are anticipating for it to be, there's not really much activity in all honesty, but they're kind of anticipating for it to be between that 650 and 7. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated. These are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So as you can kind of see, a lot of institutions are actually selling. So they're not really buying. So it doesn't jive with the overall kind of price action today. And this is why I always do bring up where volume comes from, because if we pop over here, algorithmic trading is most likely going to be the largest kind of thing. And yes, you can kind of see that. So a lot of the smaller transactions do kind of point to just algos. So algorithmic trading is kind of what's moving NIO a little bit, and institutions appear to be selling. Not everyone. There seems to be about 5 buys, 602,000, 336, 213, 113, and 106. Everything else is selling. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. Dark pool is often enough used by shorts as well as hedge funds. A couple of big transactions here, so 1.3, 1.2, 1.08, and so forth and so forth. Right now with it at 714, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 708 followed by $7 is going to be support levels. 708 is the 4-hour, and then the 7 is the 1 day. So that is a very, very strong support. So just watch for both of those to kind of hold throughout the day. And then 753 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I don't really see that being on the table for today, but potentially if this momentum does continue, that's going to be something to watch for in the next couple trading days. But aside from that though, popping over here, we are still below that 10-day moving average. So shows that the momentum fully isn't there, but the fact that we had horrible price action recently, stochastic RSI is very oversold. So good piece of news, such as kind of some of the things I did bring up, you're going to have a push higher because of that. And a lot of that is going to be because of algos, but right now it is above still a lot of the key pivotal moving averages that generally I like to look at. Nothing really concrete coming out for news, so it's just largely the things I did bring up. That's kind of what's moving NIO and also a lot of other Chinese stocks. But one thing to take note of though is looking at the market position. You do see a lot more willing buyers versus Friday. So definitely good to see. And you could also see a nice push to realistically that 740 in the short term without it hitting a key kind of wall right there. So we have pretty much from 740 to 778, a lot of willing sellers, but that could easily change with some good momentum. And aside from that, tomorrow we do have our weekly registration numbers. And if they come in like amazing double digit, that could be that positive catalyst to easily break past this wall and move to higher highs. So let me know your thoughts on everything that I kind of mentioned. Did you sell? And honestly, it's no shame in admitting that you made a mistake. But then again, I guess when Friday was happening, like nobody really knew what was really going to come from all that, right? A lot of people were just thinking about, hey, look at what happened in April. That was one crazy sell-off. It caused it from like 527 to 302 as a low. That's what people were anticipating was going to occur. So again, no kind of hate towards individuals that did sell out, as long as you made money in the end, because NIO has really moved up quite a lot. So as long as you made money, that's kind of the more of the story. That's what's important in life. But let me know your thoughts. Are you buying more? Are you selling? Do you think moving to Canada as a new audience is good and advantageous, or do you think it's just not, it's a tough market? Like, actually, to be honest, I don't think it's a tough EV market whatsoever. So what's your kind of viewpoint on that? And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you were looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.